All right, it will be an historic stadium event. Saturday, January 24th from Tele2 Arena in Stockholm, Sweden. We get you the main eventers now. First up, with 8 straight victories, this knockout artist is one punch away now from a UFC title shot. Please welcome Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Thank you. And a question for Conor. You had said that you were interested in clearing out the division and it was going to start with your reign coming up here with Dennis Siver. Can you explain exactly why you wanted this fight? A lot of people seem to think that it's, I don't know, a mismatch of sorts.
It is a mismatch. I'm going to whoop his ass, I'm going to collect the checks, and then I'm gone.
Questions for Conor. You saw Aldo up close and personal. What did you take away from seeing him fight? Where do you think he's vulnerable? How do you think you match up?
Yeah, I watched the contest up close. It was a great contest. I believe there's a lot of holes I will capitalize on. You know, he showed his frustration in the contest, but it was a traditional Thai style contest. You hit me, I hit you. Both competitors were very similar in styles, and that is why the contest was what it was. I posed different movements and different reactions than anybody on the roster, not just the division. So I am highly confident I will shut Jose Aldo down in spectacular fashion and take over the game. I say it how I want to say it, yeah? The king speaks however he wants.
Once again from KLAS. Conor, let me ask you, you burst onto the scene. There's so many great fighters up here and great fights over the next 3 months, terrific fighters. If you were sitting out here and you had to pay for one of these fights or watch one of these fights, who would it be and why?
As an employee of the UFC, I would pay for every single one. But you know, there's a lot of great stars up here. A lot of huge fights, but let's see by the end of 2015, let's see who has the highest pay-per-view numbers. Let's see who has the highest gate. Let's see who has the highest attendance. You know, because I am setting up for that, and we are in talks for big things. So again, I won't look past Dennis. I will look through him exactly where I plan on going, and then carry on. But I believe 2015 will be my year. I know a lot of the featherweights are bitching and moaning and hating on it, you know, but they don't have to love it. They can even hate it, but they will be forced to accept it.
All right, next Twitter submission for Nick Diaz and Conor McGregor. Nick, what do you think of Conor's fighting style? And then Conor, the same question about Nick.
I like it.
I like it too.
Back to Conor McGregor. Do you see any aspect of Dennis Siver's fighting style that will be a threat come January?
I feel extremely confident that I will use my movement to freeze Dennis, I believe. He's a compact fighter as it is. I will use my movement to freeze him, and then I will take his head clean off and raise it in beautiful Boston City, you know, Ireland #2, I like to call it. And then, you know, it's on to big business. Jose will be told what to do. He will be told he must fly economy to Ireland, fill out an 80,000-seater football stadium, break records, highest gate, highest attendance, highest pay-per-view, and then he will hand over that belt on home soil. So that's my year plan right there.
All right, Conor, thank you very much. This one, we'll go right back to you, Mr. McGregor, also to John Jones. Who inspires you guys when you need to be motivated for your next fight? Who motivates you when you need to be motivated for your next fight? What is your source of motivation?
Yeah. For me, I am self-motivated. You know, I show up every day and I grind it out. You know, I train intelligently, I train smart. I take note of how every single human being on this planet moves and what way they approach their chosen profession. I focus on the mental aspect of it. So for me, I motivate myself. I am a self-motivated individual, and I am up here on my own journey of whooping ass and collecting checks.
All right, one final Twitter question. What do you know? It is for Mr. Conor McGregor. What fighter in the featherweight division would give you problems or could give you problems?
It's been pretty easy so far. I've said what I was going to do, and then I went out and done it. So for me, the only person that can give you problems is the guy in the mirror. You know, the person that you stare at every day. And once you have that locked down, which I do, I believe I'm the most mentally strongest guy in this on this roster. So I don't feel the guy to give me problems exists. You know, I think that's in your head. It's an illusion. If you believe these are challenges, and then that's what it is. But for me, it's smooth sailing all the way. It has been so far, and it will continue to be.
First one for Conor, and then one real quick for Dana. Conor, I was just wondering if you were going to come up with a system to get the other fighters in the featherweight system to send you an apology for wasting your time.
All I'm looking for is a simple thank you. If you look, maybe a kiss on the toes. But if you look back at the last featherweight contest in Mexico, it was between a guy who had a horrendous fight against Jose Aldo, Ricardo Lamas. He fought like a pussy. He ran for 5 rounds. And then you look at Dennis Bermudez, who's on a false win streak. Holloway beat him. So these are 2 average, okay, journeyman fighters. Yet there was so much light on that fight, so much attention on 2 you know, Dennis is a decision machine, and Ricardo's fought like a pussy. So they still got that exposure. People are even talking about Nick Lentz. Like, who gives a shit about Nick Lentz, really? Now, before I came along, they can say all they want, but they're up here, they're trying to talk like I'm trying to talk, they're rocking the suits and everything, you know what I mean? But there is only one.
And another question for Conor McGregor. This event coming up, the main event is Cub Swanson and Frankie Edgar. Which one of those do you feel poses the biggest threat to you? Probably neither, but...
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable against both. Frankie has held a lightweight title. He's challenged at a high level his whole career. He fights with his heart, but again, he's an aging competitor. He's on the downside of his career. I think that's an accurate assessment. The same with Cub. I believe he's aging. He looks 95 years old. I say it every time. But for me personally, you know, I have nothing against Frankie. I respect his style, but I would like Cub to win for the specific reason that he seems to think that he has been promised a UFC title shot if he wins this fight against Frankie. So I want him to win that contest, and then I will bake a freshly made pie and smack him clean in the face with it when I get the title shot.
All right, my question.